That was almost in unison, I felt like. I don't know, it was like that on my end. Was it for you?
It definitely was. So
How's your
happy,
morning?
a good happy first day of spring.
It's snowing here, so it's definitely not first day of spring. We're in that time of year where it's like it's 70 one day and then we'll get 2 or 3 inches of snow on the ground. It hasn't made up its mind. But clearly, my week is not going as well as yours, Mr. GMT
Oh,
West. Rats.
thank you. Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by that because it's a lengthy process. There's hundreds and hundreds of people apply. They take just a tiny subset of them. So I was honored to be selected.
Well, you should be if they know what's good for them.
I'm excited, and it's in Vegas. So there's two. So it's basically a conference divided into two. There's one's in Fort Lauderdale, one's in Las Vegas. And like, which one would you rather attend? And I said, oh, I'd rather go to Vegas.
Well, I think it's also, like we go to Fort Lauderdale a decent amount and have
And
been
look,
there
right,
recently.
and there's a ton of travel advisors that live down there, so it'd be easy for them just to drive in for the day. So I totally get that too. I think Fort Lauderdale is a reasonable place to have it, but I want to go to Vegas.
I don't blame you. Vegas is always synonymous with conference for me. I mean, that's where I got my Hilton sales
Mhm.
certification. That's where most of like the major hotel brands host their big conferences when they do them. So
Right.
I always think conference when I think
There's a
Vegas.
big signature. So Cruise Planners is part of Signature Travel Network. It's not a consumer-facing brand, but their big annual conference is in Vegas, and I couldn't go last year, and I want to try to go this year. I've heard it's a lot of fun. Like it's yes, it's about networking, but I've heard the after parties that ones are fun. So
Oh, when I did my Hilton sales training there, they're like, we realize we're in Vegas. You still have to attend class or else you do not get your certification,
right, right,
which your
absolutely.
hotel would be mad at because they spent, a few grand to send you there. So,
Right. No, absolutely. Yeah, so it's funny you say that because like what makes this conference the GMT so like such an honor? They're paying for the flights, they're paying for the hotels, paying for meals, paying for transfers. Like I will be out of cost very little. So it was truly an honor to be selected.
that's awesome. Well, I know we've got a lot of great
We
news to
do.
talk about today. I know it's a lot of cruise, but before we dip into cruise world, let's start off with Insight Vacations.
I thought this was neat. So Inside Vacations is a so what they do is they sell pre-packaged, escorted small group tours. So these, companies like Insight, Globus, they offer great product for people who like, hey, I want to tour Ireland, I want to do a UK tour, I want to tour Greece, but I don't even know where to begin. I maybe can't afford a customized private tour. So they put together prepackaged group tours, sell them all the time. So Inside Vacation, I thought, I love this. They came out with a couple women only tours. So they're going
I
to
love
be,
that, especially in the spirit of International Women's Month.
I agree.
I know that there's some travelers that kind of roll their eyes and think why that's needed. Like personally, I'm very comfortable going out on my own. I know that
Absolutely.
there's risk, but especially in bigger areas of travel, women generally are at a little bit more risk of crimes and whatnot. So I think that's a nice safe space created for women to be able to meet new people and enjoy traveling. So
I
I'm a
think
big
that's great. Have women tour guides. They're going to focus on like women operated businesses for restaurants and women operated like tour companies for the excursion. So I just thought that was a really neat thing. And they're really also going after single women, and you can be paired up nicely with other people if you want, or you can always book a room solo. This, there's lots of women who are single and they maybe don't feel safe traveling across the pond or don't want to go by themselves. Totally get that. And this is a great way for them to be around people kind of in a similar life circumstance as them.
Absolutely. Well, next we've got another announcement.
I like this. So HX, that's the new name for Hurtigruten Expedition. So they're a German cruise company, and they really focus on just expedition travel. They do Galapagos, they do Antarctica, they do some Alaska, they do the Norwegian fjords. Any place that you're kind of like having an expedition experience, they do it. They've rebranded themselves as just HX, and their Antarctica and Galapagos products were not all inclusive. So drinks were extra, Wi-Fi were extra, and it's one reason I was kind of like, guys, people are spending a lot of money to go on these trips. Why are they having to buy drinks and Wi-Fi? So they've decided across the fleet, starting later this year, everything will be all inclusive, which I think that's just the way to go. With when you're spending that type of money for expedition type travel, I think all included is it just makes sense.
Absolutely, but I'm not going to lie. Until I read the article, I was a little suspicious because that's very similar to the acronym for Holiday Inn Express. So you kind of confused me a little bit.
Oh,
My hotel world.
that is funny. That is funny. No, yeah, no, very, very different from the Holiday Inn Express.
Very, very different. So keeping it in cruise world, you got a little nervous for a hot second
I
here.
did. So I got an email first thing this morning from Silversea that they were going to be doing what they're calling essential fare. They were calling it cruise only rate. And when I first read that, I was like, oh, because
Touching is
Silversea is synonymous with port to port or door to door rates. Okay. So, driver picks you up, your flights are included, hotel transfers, all your excursions. Or if you want to book your own flight, they can do port to port. So, once you get to the port, everything's included until you leave the port at the end of the cruise. So, when they came out with this, my first reaction was, oh God, I even texted you. It's like, here we go. Here we go. They're cutting back. The good news is I dug in, and so it still includes the butler service, which is what Silver is known for. All the drinks, the Wi-Fi, gratuities are all included. This is just an option for people who maybe they don't want or need the pre-cruise hotel. Think about a business traveler that has hundreds of thousands of hotel points, and they could get lots of free nights. Um, it doesn't include the flights. Again, think about the person that has hundreds of thousands of airline loyalty points and can just book their own flights. It doesn't include excursions unless it's an expedition sailing, which honestly, Haley, for someone like you and me, we're kind of okay with that because
yeah.
unless it's something that you have to book an excursion to do, like you want to go see, the Coliseum. The
I hate
Coliseum is not
I
something you
I
can just
hate it. Yeah.
roll up to and just go. Like, you got to plan it, have a time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I was a little worried at first. Now, there are caveats. When you book it, paid in full, non-refundable. Okay. So if you want that discount rate for a 25, 26, pay in full, non-refundable. So I at first didn't like it. When I dug in, I was like, okay, this is
I
actually,
am actually kind of interested, and I would love to see cruise world kind of evolve a little bit in that sense of rate and revenue management because like in essence that's an advanced purchase for us,
yeah, right.
APR.
Yep.
um and I almost wonder, kind of like in the realm of how Viking does their paid in full, I feel like there's so much more room for that because then that's just it's guaranteed money, like.
Well, so Virgin does that. Like if you book a cruise far enough out with Virgin, you can pay it in full, and I think it's a 10% cruise fare discount.
Yeah.
So if you pay it in full, they give you a discount, which I think is completely reasonable, and I think that's a great option for people.
Oh, 100%.
Yep, awesome. Well, kudos to
100%.
them.
So
So
keeping it in
keeping it,
that same family.
we have lots of Royal Caribbean group news today. We started with the luxury brand. We're going down to the family brand. So if you guys don't know, there's a lot of turmoil, political unrest going on in Haiti right now, and Royal Caribbean owns a private destination in Haiti, Labadee. Haley, you and I've been many, many times.
Hmm.
Uh, I think we've been together. I think we stayed on the ship together, actually. um, and because of the unrest, lots of people have been reaching out asking me, is it safe to go on that cruise? Is it okay? The answer is yes. They're monitoring the situation. They're making it kind of like a rolling 7 to 10 day decision. Sometimes they're replacing itinerary. I saw one itinerary that got replaced with Labadee to Coco Cay. People were upset about it, and I was like, "Are you kidding? Coco Cay
No, Coco K all day.
is way better than Labadee." So that is a an improvement. So if you have a cruise booked has Labadee on the itinerary, do not stress. They're monitoring the situation. They're
They're
not
not
moving.
going to put you in harm's way. That's not good for business.
Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. So keeping it in Royal Caribbean, I thought this was interesting. So for your Royal Caribbean fans, for it feels like since the beginning of time, we've had three choices for dinner. Originally, we only had two choices: early, late. I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they added
Early, late buffet. Those are the choices.
they added my time dining, which is a fan favorite. People love my time dining. Open dining, go when you want. But there's some people who miss that traditional dining experience. But like 5:30, 5, I've even seen some itineraries where it's like 4:45 is too early, and 8 o'clock is too late.
Oh, I've
So
seen like 8:30s for
I
that.
can
And
eat early. Now, I don't eat that late at home. When I'm on vacation, that time doesn't bother me for dinner. It just seems like time doesn't exist.
depends on what kind of vacation I'm on.
That's true. That is true. That is true. So
Like, I
they're
don't mind
adding.
when I'm in Europe, but
Oh,
like
right.
when I take, kind of like the cruise that Jeff and I just did, where I'm like trying to recharge, relax. I'm not going out dancing at night. Um, that's late for me.
I get it. I get it. So they're adding a third dining time in the middle between early and late. It's going to be between 6:45, 7:30, depending on the itinerary. I think it's going to be a great option for a lot of people. Um,
Favorite.
my fear is everyone's going to pick that, and late dining is going to be like empty. But we'll see.
Okay.
But I think they're only able to do this because they've streamlined the dining room. I mean, you remember those days, Haley? We've done them the 2.5 hour dinner experience, and
It's so long. My ADHD cannot.
I just can't sit there for 2.5. I just can't do it. So they're streamlining it. They're making it faster. They realize people want to be out and about. If you want a long dinner, they have things like the Supper Club on the new Icon of the Seas. If you want that long, drawn out dinner experience, but a main dining room, let's just get in, get out. I love that change.
Absolutely. And then for our last piece, going up to the
We
premium
can't
seat.
forget, we started at the top, we went to the entry, now we're in the middle. So, Celebrity Infinity, one of Celebrity's older ships, just got through dry dock, and I've seen some photos of some of the new sunset suites at the back of the ship. They gutted Michael's Club, they rebranded it the Retreat Lounge. So all of a sudden, the Infinity, like if you know the new suites to get, but they didn't get the full Summit Millennium updates, wish it had.
I
Um,
wonder why.
it's money. It's just money.
But I mean, I feel like they're typically a pinch more consistent,
I know.
and
Um,
that's I'm gonna call it that's a Royal Caribbean
yeah.
renovation plan right there.
Yeah. So they expanded Lemonade, made it bigger, so they added more suites in the back. Those new suites in the back look great. So now all of a sudden, if you're looking at Infinity and you want to stay on the retreat, like let's look at some of the aft facing sunset suites, because those are the new ones. They gutted them, they rebuilt them, they look fantastic. The lounge looks great. I've seen photos of it. Looks fantastic. I've been on a lounge on Summit many times. It's almost too big for a ship that size. It's like way bigger than Solstice class. Like it's huge. So kudos to Celebrity for updating some of the retreat offerings.
Well, I have one last bit for us here.
Okay.
If you are in the Today in Travel group, or if you want to be, you head over to todayintravel.live. That'll take you to our Facebook group. It is March Madness bracket time. I posted it in there right before the call. It is free to participate. Winner will get a $100 travel credit or onboard credit with a future travel with Mr. Jason Poole here. So get in there, lock in your brackets. It's going to be madness.
A number 9 seeds going all the way.
I don't know about that. I have them going a decent way. My
Oh wow.
bracket's done already.
Okay. 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 Yeah,
But I did not pick a number one seed to be my winner.
I think they're one and done, but that's just me. Yeah. Anyways, yes, that's great. I think that'll be fun. We had a good turnout last year. Let's just expand it, do even more this year. Really excited for that.
And hey, $100 travel credit,
Agreed.
that's nothing to sneeze at. So
Agreed.
Jason, thank you for your time. And I'm sure I'll be talking with you later today.
Absolutely. But we do have a tip of the day. Don't forget.
Oh, I didn't add that.
Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. So, if you guys were following me on Instagram from my most recent travel to Europe and back, I had a very tight layover in Charles de Gaulle, 80 minutes. I went gate to gate in 15 minutes. Okay, granted, same terminal, but I had to go through security again. But I made it gate to gate, 15 minutes on the dot. I get to JFK and I realize I don't have my bags. They didn't make it. Now, I can go on a rant about how Air France failed. They did. They should have had it on the next flight. It took 2 days. That's the whole story. Air France, get better. The Olympics are coming. It's your airport. Get better. Like, get better. But I tell you, guys, I had so many people message me and said, "Oh, you put air tags in your luggage." I'm like, "Yes, I do." Because I wanted to know where they were. So I saw them when they were, they were still at Charles de Gaulle. So then I was able to call Delta back, but I booked it through Delta, even though it was Air France.
Jeff just made sure ours were charged up.
Right, yeah. And you just throw. It's like I think a 4 pack is $100, right? And like it's the feature
Peace of mind.
you never hope you use. But it was great, and I was able to track it. I saw that one was in JFK, one was in Atlanta. Again, it's a whole story. I should have gotten the bags faster, but air tags in the luggage were absolutely clutch. Because in case they pulled this, we don't know where they are. I could say, I do. This is where they are. So if you don't have air tags, get them. They're cheap. They're iPhone. I think they're iPhone only. I don't know if you can use them with Android, but Android has.
I'm sure they have an equivalent or something.
They have an equivalent or something.
Major.
So, yes. So, all right, guys. Well, that is the show. Thank you so much for watching. Happy first day of spring. Happy March Madness, Haley. And
Here we go.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.